Sunlight streamed through the front display of Carlo's bakery, illuminating rows of delicate pastries and stacked boxes. Buddy Valastro paused mid-frost, his hands dusted with powdered sugar and his mind buzzing with the request before him: 3 Lookalike cakes for a grand charity gala. Not just cakes, mind you, cakes sculpted to mimic living people. His challenge: a cowboy, a bodybuilder, and a local celebrity famed for her runaway success in fashion. Each model represented a different world, but they all wanted their stories told in buttercream and sponge. The bakery floor hummed with energy as Buddy gathered his team: Morrow, the meticulous pastry engineer; Frankie, the detail-obsessed decorator; Grace, sweetheart and organizer extraordinaire. They leaned in around the design table, blueprints sketched across parchment with dreams and daring. "Lookalikes must look lifelike," Buddy growled with a grin. "But we've got to bake their spirit too. Let's start with Wyatt, rodeo champion, broad-shouldered, sun-beaten jaw, a stubborn grin that could match the rising sun." Buddy imagined sculpting Wyatt's tan Stetson from molded chocolate, his leather chaps in cocoa crumbs, shirt buttons tiny fondant circles. They worked for days, feet painstakingly carved, boots as rich in detail as the original. When the smoked chocolate and ginger cake stood up next to a photo of Wyatt in dusty denim, it nudged every cowboy fantasy just right. Next came Serena. Her muscles weren't just sculpted, they were living monuments to discipline and strength. Buddy's team built an armature, a rice cereal skeleton draped in almond paste, fondant muscles layered and shaded meticulously. Each contour, each rippling line captured Serena's decade of gym battles. But they didn't stop at the physical. A surprise sulfur vanilla ribbon cake, Serena's favorite flavor, nestled inside, symbolizing how softness and power can coexist. And then there was Camilla, photographed always with grace, in shifting lights and sweeping evening gowns. Designing her lookalike cake meant capturing an essence, a posture, an aura, a whisper of confidence. They sculpted a slim figure in shimmering white chocolate, cascading sugar petal fabric, layers tinted in blush and pearl. A tiara. No, instead, a crowning swirl of spun sugar and edible glitter. The cake glowed in the studio, reflecting the lights like she absorbed them, rather than battled them. But creative perfection never comes easy. The cowboy's hat cracked. The bodybuilder's biceps sagged overnight under the shop's humidity. Camilla's sugar dress collapsed in the final hours. Tensions rose. Buddy barked, tears welled. Friends faltered. Then, gracefully, Grace stepped in, coordinating a cooling station. Frankie recalculated fondant mix. Morrow engineered reinforcements. When they finally lifted the cakes into the gala hall, each was perfect not because it was flawless, but because it had survived the storm. The gala hall dimmed. Spotlights picked up Cake Cowboy Wyatt saluting the crowd, Cake Serena flexing forward with half a smile, Cake Camilla poised as always. Gasps erupted, laughter, disbelief, wonder. Wyatt's real-life counterpart hugged the cake. Serena flexed her actual muscles at the cake's middle, and Camilla laughed, light, breathy, real, as she posed beside her doppelganger. They said it looked like them. They said it felt like them. They said it was more than cake. The team returned to Carlo's bakery late that night, with sugar fogging their breaths and flour in their veins. They stood around the ovens, tasting scraps, sharing jokes about cracked hats and drooping frosting. Buddy raised a buttercream-smeared mug. "Here's to cakes that don't just look like people but tell them." And in the warm hush of ovens cooling, they believed it.